Oh, is it?
closing,
Okay.
okay.
Ah, now it's starting to make sense, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, his home away from home, that's right. All right, well, apparently we're all quiet and ready to go this time. I don't even have
Merry
to.
Christmas. Well, there's no
stuff to
food.
do.
There's no food to
There's no
distract
food.
them.
Okay. It does feel quiet.
You're gonna have to.
I have to like, I don't know what we're gonna have to do.
Let's pick up the energy. How about
All
those
right.
teams?
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Yay.
Hope you were
Okay.
louder at Arrowhead.
All right. Well,
We'll fix this.
wow. Thank you. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get this started. We do buckle up. We have a lot of value coming your way, a lot of information coming your way. This meeting is really packed, so we're gonna work hard to keep it moving, keep it rolling, and make sure that we have time for barbecue for lunch. Is everybody staying for lunch? Is anybody else kind of like, hey, I'm all for Thanksgiving, but I don't want turkey?
Yeah, a good move.
That's a good move. Okay, okay. Stephanie, we got.
What's wrong with turkey?
In the next 7 days, so.
Right. I mean, it's all right, but like once a year is good. I don't know who picked the turkey. Who picked the turkey as the main meal? All right. They didn't ask me. All right, but we will have lunch right at 11:30, so we definitely want to make sure we wrap up and have time to transition. It'll be a good day. All right, tell me something good. This is where the energy comes in.
Yeah.
Somebody give us something good that we can celebrate about. Yes.
We only have 5 tickets left for the Mahomes jersey. So if we can get 5 sold, I will draw 5 today.
Okay.
Oh, wow. What's a ticket?
How much are the tickets?
$100.
$100. Okay.
We got 4 more sold.
And then
Little raffle that sucker
I
off.
sold 3 last night. Yeah.
You or Amber?
Well,
what did she say? I heard a voice from the distance.
it was my idea.
I heard a voice. I don't know what it said, but there was a voice. That's awesome. Okay, 5 more tickets. Okay, we're down to 3. 3 more tickets. Okay. Maybe Scott wants 3.
Might just.
He'd probably win the game.
Yeah, he would.
It's true. All right. What else? What do we got? Yes, Lisa.
Great time having them together and catching up, and it was a really cool time. We weren't stressed about having to go somewhere else or do something else.
That is good. That is good.
Really good.
Is anybody? Yes.
Well, I was thinking this morning, what am I thankful for?
Yeah.
I'm thankful my ancestors came from England, came over to the United States, we were farmers, and worked across the country to Kansas City, Missouri. I have 2 brothers and a sister still on the farm, so I'm just thankful for the beautiful United States. 6 great grandkids.
Yay!
Oh,
Come
that's
on, Kay.
amazing. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Can't beat that.
bring us back to basics there, and that's good. We should all be thankful for that. Thank you for sharing.
The Bears have a better record than the Chiefs.
We're thankful for that.
There's who?
Trying to bring this in.
Wow. Who are the Bears? What is
We
that?
have 3 amazing seats up here.
VIP. All right. What else? What else have we got? Thank you, David.
That's fair. That's fair.
I've got one along the football lines. Maybe you've seen my football or my Facebook post, but our youngest son, Levi, he's 17. He's a junior at Summit Christian. He had worked really hard to get off of the offensive line. Because all you do is he wants to touch the ball, run the ball, catch the ball, score the ball. You don't get to do that when you're a lineman. And so he worked really hard. He became a tight end. And then one of the O linemen got injured. He had to go back. And that was a hard thing to do. And so he filled in as left tackle. He did that for half the season. And we just found out he made second team all conference in
Yeah.
that position.
Playing out of position, essentially.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
So he made that.
Second highest paid position in football.
Okay, then that works for
There
me.
you go.
There we go. Good to know.
True.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
So it kind of works out. Sometimes that's how it works out. It's like you take one for the team, you fill in where you're needed, and then you do well at it. And, sometimes, God, the universe, whatever you believe, kind of knows better than we do, what we want and so anyway, I don't know, that was pretty good. And we're pretty proud of him. That's a kind of a first for our family. So
I got one.
Very cool.
Todd and I are happy to announce that our elderly mother, who's been here for 6 weeks, just went back to Texas. Love my mom, but it was time. Yes. Yes.
yes, remind her of that. It's so cool here.
Right.
But isn't she buying a house here?
Huh?
Isn't she buying a house?
Is not buying a house.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought Shelby was gonna sell her one.
She almost did. Yeah.
All right. That is funny. She did come up here and met Shelby, and she was just telling Lonnie how great Shelby was, and she is. Shelby's fantastic. Shelby's great and such a people person.
Shelby was sliding the buyer agency thing over to her when I walked in. Hold on.
Hey,
She's awesome. She's
that's awesome. All right. Anything else? Anything good? What else is going good?
I'm hosting family Thanksgiving tomorrow for my mom's side of the family. All my cousins stuff are coming out. My grandpa passed away last week, so, and we're not having services till January, and a couple of the cousins can't make it. But they're like, we have time off for Thanksgiving, we need to get together.
Okay.
So we're actually having a barbecue dinner, city barbecue at my house tomorrow night.
Nice. It's good stuff.
Bittersweet, but yeah, sometimes these are the things that bring families together.
There's
So
82, lived a good life, smoked pack a day for
Oh.
70 years,
yes,
Stacy.
Stacy.
For the first time, I think probably 20 years, I am not hosting Thanksgiving. I passed the baton to my daughter, who just built a house in Creekmore, and said, yeah, so that is great news. I gave her all my platter.
You just don't take it back.
Right.
Just don't take it back. No take backs. There you go. I like that. Pass it down there. Yeah.
Well, what are you doing and what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
We're staying local and going to my family's house. Yeah, all my family's right here. I guess Caesar's family's not, but we don't usually travel. We stay
Yeah.
here.
We're hosting friends that live in our community that we do a lot of things with and having them over and watching football, eating turkey,
Ooh, we'll have turkey too.
lots of
but-
wine, lots of wine.
Oh.
But some of my friends that one of the groups flew in from Tucson and they're bringing their 2 children and staying at our house. That's a first.
Lonnie
So-
loves kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kids have never been to town before.
It's a great question. Victoria's like, how old are they? And I go, we don't have kids, but I can tell you they're this tall and this tall. Okay. And my cats are going to lose their mind. So it'll be interesting. We'll power through it though.
Empower
Mom
her.
stayed
She did not. We got her a place close to our house. She has a big dog and she needed that dog in my house to put together.
You didn't go from mom to.
No,
Over and
we got
stay at
no, we got a little bit of a break and mom wasn't at my house, but she was. So
Is anybody else traveling for Thanksgiving, going out of town? Ryan, where are you going?
Just the other.
Okay, yeah.
nice.
Anybody else traveling? Everybody staying here,
We're going to
Topeka,
That's traveling.
leaving the state.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, very good. It is Thanksgiving Day. It's Thanksgiving week. Ay. And we do have a lot to be thankful for. And I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for our office. Caesar and I are just so grateful to be here and be a part of this group, this tribe, and we really enjoy it. So, all right, we're going to move on. Like I said, we got a lot going on. So we're going to kind of, if we buzz through this, vendors, you would work with us. I'd be so grateful. Lisa, let's do Kaufelt title with Lisa. Lisa was actually prepared. Come on up, Lisa. You were ready last week. You were here last week.
I did.
You were overachieving
And then at the
at
ALC meeting.
the ALC meeting.
Anybody want to know anything? I just have short and sweet. Last time I was in, not last week, the week before, I gave you the wrong date for Finson. It's actually January 6th. I think Brandy corrected that on the Facebook page or wherever you guys communicate. So just please put that in your calendar, January 6th. It'll be right after team meeting, so you don't even have to leave and come back. But it's going to be a lot of very important information. I have someone coming in who is part of that committee for cop out, so they can give us some information, answer some questions, those types of things. So that's really important.
Lisa, could you remind our group, some of the people that aren't at meeting all the time, what is this again?
The FinCEN is, it is triggered by a cash buyer that is an entity. That can be a trust, LLC, corporation, partnership, anything other than individuals. If you have a cash buyer that is an entity after on or after March 1st, they have to go through for lack of a better word, a questionnaire that is has to go through the feds to, if it's going to be reported as a trigger transaction or not. But the other facet to that is it also, then your seller also has to go through the same process. There'll be more information in regards to that, like I said, when we talk about it, but it is a big topic. You guys have investors, you have, I mean, just the average Joe that's in a trust. It's important to know these things so that you can give people a heads up now if they are ones that are purchasing cash in an LLC, corporation, trust, etc. Okay.
You probably know more in January, but is that an extensive questionnaire? Is it like a vetting process? Do you know anything?
It's both. From what I understand, it is lengthy. It's not hard. I mean, the questions are, I mean, you're going to know the answers as a buyer. It's not a trying to trick you into anything type of deal. My understanding is lengthy. I don't have it. I don't have the information on it as far as what those questions are. I do know that we can't help on it. We can't deed out. We can't suggest that someone instead writes a contract in the individual name and you do whatever you do. I will tell you that if you change things up, sometimes they look at this. So anyway, yes.
What's the turnaround time on the
I don't know the answer to that question.
January 6th.
No more.
Oh,
January 6th.
January 6th. Right. I don't know that they.
So are you
No.
saying that you can't say anything, you can't coach them, you can't, but we can? Is that what you're saying, or like?
I can't say that either.
Okay. I'm just wondering. It sounds like we should be in the room, and we should
You should,
we should know what's going on.
yeah, you know your those clients, especially. I don't know that necessarily that's an issue prior to writing a contract. I think it all really comes after you've written a contract and why they are saying, okay, why did you do an amendment from an LLC to individual type of situation? I don't know that though.
Well, we'll find out January 6th.
Yes.
Okay.
The last thing is we're going to be closed, obviously, Thanksgiving, day after Thanksgiving. We're closed on Christmas and the day after Christmas. So people have asked me a little bit about that. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you. All right. How about Todd Branson with Fairway Mortgage? Give it up for Todd.
All right, so it is Thanksgiving, a couple things to be very thankful for. Mortgage rates are coming down. I'll leave that one there. But I have my grandson turns 1 in about 10 days. So he's just running. So my daughter is sending videos and she's sprinting after him down the hallway because he's doing this and he starts leaning forward. It looks like me a few weeks ago at a fraternity event, you know what I mean? But anyway, so very thankful for that. Excited to see that Bowen come to be and grow. And he's got the big dog, big floopy dog, and the dog just protects him. So super cute. But from a business standpoint, I wanted to say I got a call every year about this time. I get a call from a company that they give awards out to mortgage companies, and our team was selected for 13 years in a row. We're in the top 2% of Kansas City as a loan team. And I have to go through an interview process and they have to validate everything. It kind of sucks, but it's selected by my clients. So they go to your client base and they ask the questions. So pretty cool deal. 13 years in a row. She's like, by the way, that's 13 in a row. So I was pretty excited about that. So I let my team know that. Thank you. I let my team know that was that's a pretty cool deal. And but you know, from a thankful standpoint, last night we had an opportunity to take a loan away from another lender. And okay. So anyway, so I geared up today to take it, and we close it in 7 days. And so I had all my ducks in a row to take it. And then the realtor called me this morning and said they're going to stay, and because they're scared I can't get it done. Understood. The main difference is, and this is why that I was even offered the opportunity, is that this lender is a broker, meaning that they have to answer to their investor who they're going to send the loan to. So that loan officer gets on a screen and says, "Up, Chase, Wells, Bank of America, whatever." So he sends the loan to them. He has to go by their guidelines. So when he sends the loan package into the lender, they underwrite it. They come back with a laundry list of conditions. We underwrite everything for ourselves. Our conditions are ours. I can work on them with my internal team. He has no regard for what they're going to give him. So the list is long. So guess what your borrower is? Pissed because they have all these things to get. So that's where it came down to this last 7 days. Could we have done it? Absolutely. 7 days is the minimum time frame to do a home loan, by the way. Can't do it any faster. So, because there's rules. So anyway, we were poised and ready to pull the trigger. And candidly, behind the scenes right now, we're still working the trigger, because if at any moment they ask us to take it back over, I have to be ready. So anyway, very cool, guys. Thank you so much for all your support. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, Todd. All right. How about Ron with Pillar to Post?
Ron, there you go.
You have your, yep. Ready?
So, as you know, when we do an inspection for you and your client, we send you an email afterwards and you have your own homepage. So on your homepage is every inspection that we have done for you. It's nice and organized. So we're always trying to come up with things to help you in that process. So now on your homepage, you might start to see this button here. It says Start Repair Request. And what that does now, and it's ready to go, when you get the home inspection report, you can start the repair request. And as you go down through the inspection report, you can select items that you or your buyer wants to either have fixed or negotiate the deal. And it will put that item that with our pictures on a list, and you can put notes that we would like this fixed, or an allowance for this much money. So what it does is actually helps you. It's a tool to help you create a list to send to the selling agent to negotiate whatever your buyer wants. So we think that's going to be handy for all of you. It's going to be a good tool. It's something that Pillar to Post offers that I don't know that other inspectors offer, but it's an easy way to keep everything organized, save you time, and compile that list. So if you have any questions about it, let us know, but we think it's a pretty good idea. So, and thanks for all your support as well.
Thanks, Ron.
All right. Rusty, Raylan.
There they are.
Here they are.
Bravo.
Remember that Apex does all underground utilities, also including sewer. We also do clean outs if you need it. If you need an auger or a jetting, we don't personally have that equipment right now, but we do have a plumber that'll come in and do that. So if you're in a situation where you have a client that has a problem with their sewer, feel free to send that report over, and then we'll guide you and help you get to the finish line.
Oh, that's cool.
We good.
Is that kind of new, Rusty? Is that a new service or no?
No, we've always offered it.
Oh,
I
okay.
just don't think I speak about it.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Very good.
Thanks.
Very good. All right. I see Buffy. Buffy, you want to come on up? Buffy Watterson with Royal Roofing and Solar. She's got the plaid vibe going on in the boots.
Plaids and vests and.
Yeah.
A lot of bets.
Good morning. I just wanted to touch base on humidity in the houses. Since temperatures are changing, we are seeing a lot of calls, people thinking their roof is leaking. It's because there's too much moisture in the house and it gets getting trapped in the attic. So then they're seeing water spots on their ceiling. So we have created this little handy thing, what the outdoor temperature should be compared to what their indoor temperature and humidity levels should be. So hopefully you guys find that helpful. Obviously water finds path of least resistance. So, now that we have dew on the roofs, ice and snow will be coming soon. Older roofs need to be maintained. So, we are going to do a maintenance special here. I tried to negotiate with Austin on the way here on that price because what I would like to do it for and what he wants to do it for is two totally different things. So hopefully I'll get that price later today. So, anyway, these are available for you guys if you, would like to have some information.
Thanks, Buffy.
Great, thank
Appreciate it.
you. Very good. Ryan Cooper with Movie Co. You want to come?
Ryan.
I don't really have much to say. I've been a preferred lender here for a little bit. I just want to say thank you. Hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. I'm gonna hang around for a little bit if anybody has questions or needs anything.
Awesome,
Thank you.
Ryan.
All right, and I don't see Matt. So appreciate our vendors. We are thankful for you and your support all year long. And we've got good people in here. So appreciate you guys. All right. Some upcoming events. Not much happening this week. So a lot of turkey eating and napping. Make sure you get a nap. We will have lunch today right after this. And then yeah, we will not be staffed on Thanksgiving or the day after. We kind of covered that. I mean, y'all are welcome to come up here. Y'all can work. You won't find us. We won't be here. All right. This is something for your calendar. Keller Williams Christmas party. This is the one where you get to bring your +1, the nicer one. We have 2. So that's why I'm saying that. Saturday, December 6th. That's coming up like in what? 2 weeks? Less than 2 weeks? A week from Saturday. It's at the Creekmore Clubhouse. There is on Facebook an RSVP so we can get head count. We're having Italian food, that kind of thing. You do get to bring your +1, that kind of, yeah. So if you have questions, come see me, but yes.
What's the dress for that, Randy?
Please wear clothes. Like you can.
Okay.
I don't know. What is the dress code, Lonnie?
Up to you guys.
Okay. I would say dress nice.
Yeah. Comfy.
Ish. You can wear jeans. I mean, jeans are probably
Business casual.
Business casual. There we
There
go.
we go.
There we go. We do want it to be a nicer party, you know, because we do have another party, which is this one. Well, this is not it, but Toys for Tots. We are collecting Toys for Tots. Ryan, you want to say something about this,
Absolutely.
please?
So earlier this year, we had this huge fundraiser for the Texas flood victims. Everybody remember that? And it was an awesome push. We got so much donated. We had a lot of people helping us. And some of the people that were helping us were over at the Willow Lynn Barber Shop. I met those guys. Well, they're huge into Toys for Tots. And myself being a Marine Reservist, I actually participated in this as well when I was in service. And so this hits close to home for me. And so this opportunity kind of struck us as this is a great opportunity for our clients and whoever wanted to give back to Toys for Tots. It's a great thing. If you don't know about it, the Marine Reserves run this program. They collect these toys. We're going to do it until the 18th. They'll get everything boxed up and they'll get the toys out. They can get wrapped up by the families or whatever. But it gives opportunities for these local kids to get something for Christmas, and it's a really neat thing. So again, we've got a box up front. If you want to ask your clients or your database, you'd love to see their smiling face. Come on in and see me. Bring them a toy. Drop it in our box. That would be awesome. So they're good kids.
Yep.
I will say, piggyback on that, Nanette, #1 salesman for the Chiefs jersey, and all she did was utilize it to touch her down. And I think she sold 7 or 8, I don't know the exact count.
Nice.
But it really provided her with an opportunity to reach out to her clients again. Thank you, Nanette.
Yep. Well, that's what I was going to say. You guys can come in and make a video. I saw Ryan already made a video. Come grab the box and make a video and push it out to your Facebook and push it out to your clients. We are not sponsoring. In the past, we've sponsored a senior at the senior center, or however that worked. We're not doing that this year. So please don't let this holiday season go by where you're not helping give back. You know, if you can throw a toy in the box yourself, please do. And let's older kids too.
I talked to Carly Aaron in there yesterday. CVS has a really great deal. $14.99, you get $10 back in extra trip on.
Okay.
Wow.
There we go. Unwrapped, please. Good question. Good question. New and unwrapped.
Be a lot of curling irons now.
Hey. And I heard Ryan say that they stay local. So I like that. I like that.
coordinate, Marines over there on the base and get those dispersed, so.
Love that.
These guys are really great people over at Willow Wind. I just I needed a haircut, ran into those guys, and they're super people, so they jumped in immediately and helped us. They donated over $1,600. They just talked to the people that were coming in, and they told them what's happening and what this real estate company's doing, and they're like, yeah, we want to help out. And it was amazing. So it's a great partnership with these guys. I want to give back to, and not being personal.
Let's fill the box.
Yeah.
And then some. All right. Then that takes me to this Christmas party where you don't have to dress so nice. This is the office lunch and White Elephant gift exchange. Remember that one where we do it here? We have fun, we have lunch, gift exchange, ugly sweater, all that. That's what this one is. December 16th. This is where I want you to jot that down. Remember this. That is our third Tuesday of the month, which would normally be ALC. But because it's a weirdo month with the holidays, we're going to go ahead and make it a normal team meeting and have our lunch and White Elephant gift exchange following it. Okay. So, trying to get these dates to you. Hey, Scott Swaggart. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey, let's introduce him.
Yeah.
Scotty, where are you?
Leaves again.
Everybody give it up for Scott Swagger.
Yeah.
I saved you a seat in the spit zone. You're good. Our number one individual agent last year, guys. Very, very successful guy.
Scott.
And in a closing, big
Forgive
surprise.
me, didn't mean to embarrass you. Just knew that we've had some people that were like, "Is this guy real? Like he won
Right.
these awards.
Made him
I've
up.
Seen him."
Yes.
So I appreciate you being here. What else? Oh, a big, huge, fat thank you to our 2025 ALC members who served this year. Their faces are here. We have gone ahead and wrapped up our 2025 season with our ALC. We start next month, which is next week. With December's next week. I'm telling myself, sorry. We're starting with the 2026 ALC. We'll have that those introductions. But I just wanted to say thank you. Can we give our leaders
Sure.
a hand? So these are obviously, to be on the ALC, you do need to be in the top 20% of the office. And they choose to donate their time for a year to come together and help. We have meetings, but we make decisions. They hold committees. They are always helping. They're leading sold masterminds, all kinds of stuff. And we couldn't do this without them. So we really appreciate you, ALC. And we're looking forward to a great 2026 as well. This is something new that you haven't heard of yet. I am forming a focus group. And what this is going to be, it's starting in January, but I'm going to put the word out now. This is a lead gen focus group that if you want to be a part of a group to go, sometimes I just need a kick in the butt to get going, or I want to do this with somebody else. That's what I'm doing is I'm going to pull a group of us together that want to get together twice a week. I may do it 3 times a week if I can, or find someone to help me co-lead it. But I'm going to commit to 2 times a week for an hour or 2 a session. I will get those dates to you. But I'll lead, I'll give direction, we'll do scripts, we'll do calls, we'll write notes, we'll do all things lead gen. And so this gives us ideas, it gives us habits, and then also some accountability, which, we all hate that word, but yet we all need it. So if you want to be a part of the focus group, sign up so I can know who I'm collecting, and we'll start this in January, right after the new year. All right, Darren, I'm done.
Darren
talking for a
Jones.
minute. I need a break.
Go, Darren.
5 slides. So one of my jobs as broker is to reduce liability for the office. And one thing I don't think I've pointed out, so you got the square footage that you can put in the MLS. You can always put that unless it comes from the assessor's office or the tax sheet or whatever. Or you could put owner if they're saying, how many square feet are in the basement or whatever. I prefer never to see agent right there. Liability. But that's a powerful word to put estimated. And then of course, public records, if that's where you can always find the upstairs. Also, don't combine the two. There's so many agents that will put 1,800 there when it's really 1,200 and they've got 600 in the basement. Don't combine the two. That is so frustrating. I've walked into houses before and of course Zillow and Realtor, I think they all combine them. And people are like, I thought this was 1,800 square feet, and you walk in and it's 9. Also, if it's a raised ranch, you can't finish usually the garage. So if it's 1,200 square foot raised ranch, you're gonna have about 400 in the garage. You can only finish, what did I say, 12, 4, 8, 800. Just pet peeves. One other thing was that I read and copied that 15.1% of contracts were canceled nationwide in October. I think from what I've seen, it's more than 70% because of inspections. That's only like 10.6%. I think it's more than that, at least here. What can we do? We need to, and I'm talking to myself, we need to get our buyers ready for the 32-page inspection report, especially if they're not at the inspection, to listen to Ron explain, you know, hey, this could be better, but it's not urgent. Because they're going to see 28 of those things that could be better, but they're not urgent. But when you see the pictures in the 32-page report, they freak out. So we need to educate our buyers, especially in the older houses, especially in the under $200,000 range. First-time buyers that bring their damn parents. So, but yeah, really. She looks at her mom. So I think a little talk, a little education for these buyers can go a long way. I'm not saying we don't want to do inspections, by all means, but there's a lot of stuff that's not urgent, not going to burn the house down, that kind of stuff. So, you know, I don't know what our percentage is, but this number keeps going up. It was less in August, it was less in September, and then being over 15% nationwide. That's a lot of deals that we're not getting paid on, and the buyers are probably not finding a better house. You know, they go to the second or the third one, they keep paying for inspections. So anyway, food for thought.
Thanks, Darren.
Darren, thank you.
You guys, do you understand the raised ranch analogy he just gave you? Okay, because you guys make that mistake a lot. Just real quick, let's do that. I'm going to do a little drawing. This is Silas's new listing. This is the footprint, right? It's 1,200 square feet. Okay, on the main floor. You guys get that? Main floor square footage. Now, the basement on a raised ranch is exactly a duplicate of that for all practical purposes. It is impossible for this to also be 1,200 square feet. Okay, unless the garage is finished, which is really rare. Typically, there's place for a couple cars. You guys get that? So this might be 400 unfinished for the cars and 800 maybe that's finished. Oh, by the way, there's usually a utility room and a storage area and stuff like that. So when I see I almost said the brokerage. When I see one of those agents that doesn't have a broker looking out for them or any other agents to help them, you're going to see it say 1,200 main floor, 2,400 square foot total. Okay, and you walk in and go, must not be a garage. There's the garage. So it is wrong. You guys get that? You could go through the MLS right now and find examples of this mistake a dozen times just within Cass County. It's constant. So if you have any questions, you're listing a house or if you're showing it, if you have questions on this, just stop, come to one of us and we'll kind of chat through it. Any questions?
Very good.
Good. Sorry.
I don't know.
A couple minutes on that.
Great.
Yep.
This all makes us better. Okay. The only thing I really have is thank you for all of you who came to the business planning clinic. Appreciate you being there and taking time out of your day and out of your business to do that. You guys really surprised me and stepped up in that. Not that you wouldn't come or whatever, but we had 35 agents sign up to come. Everybody plus one showed up. We had 36 in the room. 100 people. That just never happens. Everybody who signed up showed up. So I appreciate you guys. That's just for the leader. That's just kind of like fun for me. But I appreciate you being there. Now, one thing I didn't tell you that day, I lost track of it. In the back of the binder, in that back pocket, I had some papers back there. That wasn't really a part. It was just bonus material. And I'm going to explain what that was. So if you had the binder, it's basically, there's two different packets in the back of how to train your ChatGPT or your Gemini, whatever choice of, do you have it? Can I borrow that? Look at you. And the other one too. There's one more. So there, thank you. We didn't even plan that. That was great. So in the back, I have this, how to train your Chat GPT. Because here's the thing, guys, you have to train it. You have to train it to get what you want out of it. Whether it's Chat GPT or Google Gemini, they will do the same thing. Now I use mine for business. I use it for everything. I use it for business, for life, for parenting, marriage, like whatever. It does all of it. And it will even be a great life coach for you. So there's one called Chat GPT Mastery for Realtors. So these are things to tell it, to train it, so you get what you want out of it. And then there's another one, how to train your Chat GPT to get the most useful answers. So I would just encourage you one of these days, maybe you've already done it, but sit down because I'm noticing people aren't getting the most out of it because they haven't told it what they want. And for instance, if you'll go through there, it'll kind of give you some ideas of how to, and you just talk to it. You tell it one time and it will remember. So if you have any questions, come see me about that, because I really am excited about what a cool tool it is. And I want us to get the most out of it. Another cool activity here. Lonnie loves this. I love this. We all should love this. So we had a record-breaking October for our office, okay? When we look at the multi-year trends, it separates all the months. So when we look down the October column for all of the Octobers in the history of Keller Williams Southland Partners, we broke some records as a company. And so we had more contracts written volume, over 25 million. So great job there. Our listing sold volume was over 13 million. Our GCI was 763,000. That's a lot of money that came into this office that went through Caesar's hand and got dispersed out to you guys. And then our average sales price as an office is over almost $350,000.
Give it up for yourself.
Now, Lonnie, why is that such a big deal? Why do we want to celebrate that?
We're celebrating it because it'd be a different story, guys, if everybody was setting records across the board and we were in COVID market or something. I would expect us to be setting records. But instead, we're in a market with massive headwinds, still headwinds. Todd's rate's not going down fast enough. You guys hear about people pulling their house off the market and all this kind of stuff. Some cancellation increases, all these things. Yet these records just got set in the month of October. So I cannot tell you how odd this is.
Mm-hmm.
I get to be on a call with 28 other market center owners throughout the Midwest. And when I mention this, they're all just like, what? The gross commission income for your office was the highest ever for October? Do you guys usually suck in October? I'm like, no, we don't suck in October. So they were really, really kind of caught off guard with that. And so was I, to be perfectly honest with you. So, give it up for yourself. That's really exciting. But something you want to think about when we're talking about numbers. First of all, we get paid based on price, right? So as price continues to go higher, the available commission dollars to our people grows. You guys get that? So if prices go up another 4 or 5% next year, and it was the same number of sales, the commissionable dollars goes up by 4 or 5%. So you almost get a raise. You guys get that? So, and why that's important is we're sort of forecasting. If you saw NAR come out the other day, they're expecting about a 15% bounce up, good job, in number of sales nationally next year. Now, every market's different. So I can't say Los Angeles is Kansas City and Kansas City is not Miami and all these different things, but we're kind of steady Eddie. So we're probably going to get some kind of bump. Add that to 4 or 5% price appreciation. And let's just say we did see 15% more sales. Add that to the price appreciation. There's probably in the vicinity of 20% more commissionable dollars available to our industry next year. You guys get that? See how that works? And if we see 3 or 4 years of that kind of recovery like that, it can get really exciting really fast. I had somebody call me the other day and they're like, I haven't done much with my license. I've sold a house or two over the last 3 years. Should I even renew? I'm kind of down on myself. Let me just tell you this. If you've had a license in the last 2 or 3 years and you've held it through the market we just left, you probably want to have it through the one that's coming. Okay. That's just the way I look at it. So, I just wanted to share that with you. One other thing to point out in here, gross commission income, that's commission on closed sales, you guys, right? So is that rear view mirror or is that forward looking? Windshield or rear view mirror? Rear view mirror, because it already happened, right? Listings sold being the key word.
Rear view mirror.
Rear view mirror. Now, what about this one? Yeah, forward looking or windshield. You guys get that? Why is that important? This should be a pretty good precursor of what the next month might look like, because those are contracts that you guys wrote. You guys get that? So that and listings taken volume are the two things that tell us what your next 30 to 60 days are going to look like as an organization. So anyway, that's all I wanted to add.
No, I appreciate you
Yep.
doing that. Another thing here that also helped with this, our GCI, the percentage, we all try to get 3% on our listings and our buyers. As an office, we were at 3.1% as an office for October. So good job, guys.
Yeah,
Good
good job
job.
yourself. You're holding your chin up in that category at an unprecedented level. I can assure you. I get to see the numbers from the other offices, the KW offices in Kansas City, and I really focus on KC because that's our market. And you're leading the pack there. So you're getting your value proposition out there. You're defending your dollar. If you want to be the guy taking 1% listings, go do that. But your business won't be open very long. So that's just that's not a great business model. So you guys are crushing it.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Hats off to you. I know this market hasn't been easy. I talk to you guys. Lonnie's talking to you guys. We hear you're working hard to get to do this. Like, this is a lot of work. And so we just want to make sure we celebrate that, which leads us also into Tim. You want to help us with some awards?
You got it.
All right. We're going to do some awards for October.
All right.
All right. Tim's going to get us going here. There you go.
How many did Scott win this month? Just kidding. Number 2 in group sales. This is, let's see, closed sales volume. Number 2 in the group category, New Edge Partners with $2.053 million.
$2 million month.
Number 1 in the group category, closed sales volume, Lonnie Branson Real Estate, $2.22 million. Great month, you guys. This is in the team category. Number 3, closed sales volume, brick and mortar real estate, $1.38 million. Great job, you guys. Number 2 in the team category, the Keys team at $1.495 million.
Good job.
Great job. And number 1 in the team category, closed sales volume, Lacey Land and Home, $1.665 million. Well done.
Thank you.
These are all big numbers. Golly. Number 10, this is in the individual category for closed sales volume. Number 10 at $495,000, Rustalyn York. Not Rusty.
Yeah.
Number 9 individual, Sandy Paxton at $531,000. Sandy. Number 8, still in the individual category, Chad Green, $500,000.
Chad.
Good boy, Chad.
Come on, Chad.
Number 7 in the individual category at $705,000, Marsha McKenna. Good job, Marsha. Number 6 at $715,000, Christian Jones.
Yeah, Christian.
Who just met Kay for the first time today, I heard.
Yeah.
Number 6 in the individual category at $715,000, Nathan Priest. Good job, Nate. There he is at $1.8 million. Scott Swagger, number 5 individual. Scotty.
Good job, Scott.
Number 4 individual, closed sales volume at 1.085, Julie Phillips.
All right.
Julie.
It's a good month.
Number 3 at 1.124, sold by Shelby. Good job, Shelby. That was Solani's mom.
Yeah.
I got that one sold. On her
Better keep an eye on
holiday
this
card
one.
hand.
She's in her database for sure.
Number 2 individual, Brannigan Barnett, $1.4 million.
All right.
Brannigan.
And number 1 at $1.75 million, Broker Derek.
Wow.
Good job.
Woo.
Aaron. Kicking butt, taking name. Okay, this is listings taken volume. So total dollar volume in the listings that we wrote. Number 3 in the group category, $519,000, Fife Real Estate Team.
Good job,
Good job,
team.
Fifes. Number 2 at 1.17, New Edge Partners. Good job, New Edge. And number 1 in the group category at 1.18, LBRE. Good job, Lonnie.
All right.
This is in the team category, still listings taken volume, $183,000, Austin Real Estate.
All right.
Guys. Number 1 in the team category at $555,000, Brick and Mortar.
Good job.
Good job, Brick and Mortar.
Oh, there he is.
And
Sorry.
in the individual category, still listings taken volume at 300,000, our number 10, Micaiah Bland.
All right.
Micaiah.
Uh,
Number 9 at 305, Tim Crable.
Tim Crable.
One. Number 8, 310,000 listings taken volume, sold by Shelby. Not Shelby. Number 7 at 455,000, Scott Swagger.
Hey.
Number 6 individual listings taken volume at 775,000, Broker Darren. Good job, Darren. Darren's gonna have a good Christmas. I feel it. Number 5 individual listings taken volume at 809,000, Sandy Paxton.
Good job, Sandy.
909,000 rounds up number 4 individual, Brannigan Barnett. Number 3 individual listings taken volume, 939,000, James McClay.
Wow. Good job, James.
Mayor of, where's he at?
Butler.
Butler, Mayor of Butler, $975,000 took number 2, Rustalyn York.
There you go. Good job, girl.
Wow, and number 1 individual listings taken volume, Nate Priest, $1.86 million. Holy smokes.
Holy smokes.
Man, these are big. There's a lot in here.
I'm not sure.
All right, I'm gonna go faster then.
Okay.
All right, here we go. $1 million month. Congrats on closing over $1 million in sales in 1 month. Lonnie Branson Real Estate, Silas Gray, Broker Darren, Brannigan Barnett,
Good.
Joe Goodwin, Paul Fife,
Yeah.
Ben Groot, sold by Shelby,
Right.
Stacy Key, Julie Phillips,
All right.
Scott Swagger.
Sweet.
That's a lot of $1 million months.
That's a lot.
There, isn't it?
That's a lot.
Man.
Scott.
What was that? $1 million month?
Stacy?
These are home runs.
Shelby.
All right, home run is 1 closing, 1 listing, and 1 under contract. 1 closing, 1 listing taken, 1 property put under contract in the month of October. Home runs are Brannigan Barnett,
Yeah. I love.
Devon West, Julie Phillips, Lonnie Branson, Nathan Priest, Paul Fife, Sandy Paxton,
Yeah.
Scott Swaggart again. Sold by Shelby. She's got 1 for everything. Tim
Tim
Crable, Trisha Henson.
The cruise.
On a cruise, yeah.
Yeah. What happens when you sell $1 million every month?
Yeah, you gotta go on a
And
cruise.
this is a super awesome one. Everybody remembers their first listing that they take. That's such a big one. Victoria Landaberry, first listing.
All right.
Good.
Congratulations,
Great one.
I will say, if ever, these awards are not as easy as you think. You think, oh, just hit print and it's fine. No, if ever our numbers aren't right, you don't feel like we did it right, please come see us. It was probably a mistake. And that's always going to be my disclaimer, because these things, we work really hard to get them right. It's important to us that your names are spelled right, that we got your numbers reported right, that we got the right order. That's what we want to do. And if we ever do make a mistake, please accept our apologies. Come talk to us so we can get it fixed. Cool?
Yep.
All right, Lonnie, your turn.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Let's see. What are we going to talk? All right. I told you guys, first of all, obviously the awards are amazing. So while we're on this subject, stay there, Brandy. While we're on this subject, you guys, the things that are happening, the synergy in our office, let me give you an example of what a typical office looks like. There's 39 of you that were in here at one point, probably 35 now, because I guess we're not that interesting. You guys have no idea how unusual that is, even in this Keller Williams world. Okay. There are brokerages of all different sizes that have 200, 300 agents. They can't get 30 people to a team meeting once a month. Okay. So our secret sauce is what we do, how we interact with each other. And in the 2 years that Brandy and Caesar have been here, that has gotten better and better. Are we perfect? No, but this is the best version we've ever had. And that's why those numbers are what they are. Trust me, that is what's happening. Please give it up for Brandy and Caesar and all they do. Yay.
Thank you.
All right.
Good hires.
What's that?
Good hires.
I know. Gosh, I had to drag them across the doorway, but then we got them, didn't we? Okay. Let's talk. Give a
Eraser? Yep.
Let's talk about price changes. Why would we want to talk about price changes? Because it's more frequent. Yes, Rustland, you're my favorite. We'll talk about the 50-year mortgage in a second, maybe if we have time. Okay, price changes. In the market of, let's just say COVID market, there wasn't a lot of price changes. Things that went on the market were getting hit with contracts, multiples and all that. You guys remember that? So very few price changes because of that extreme market we're in. In a normal market, price ranges are actually quite common. Okay, they're not necessarily a bad thing, especially if they're part of an overall strategy that's been discussed with the seller. Okay, that's what I want to talk about because I want everybody to know within the spectrum of price changes where they stand, and maybe they'll look at it a little bit differently. First of all, when you talk to a seller, I'm going to go on the seller side for a second, you're teamifying everything from your first conversation to the last conversation, okay? Now, I'll tell you what my conversation looks like and where price changes fit within that. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the data I just shared with you for your subdivision, I really think the house is going to sell between 290 and 310. That's the sweet spot. Why do I ever talk about that versus a number? Because we speak in ranges, okay? If you don't speak in ranges, you just became an appraiser, and I highly recommend you change your way of doing things. By the way, not all your comps are going to say this is exactly a $305,000 house. Doesn't work that way. There's a range for you. There's a low and there's a high, okay? Now, let's just go with the typical my typical conversation. Yours might be different. I give them this data. They look at it. They look at the pictures, the link I sent them, and they go, oh, LB, that makes perfect sense. We know you know what you're doing, all that kind of stuff. We'd like to go 315, okay? That ever happened? Just me. Let's go ahead and say 319, okay? Let's be honest. This is where that thing's getting listed, all right? So versus me freak out, soil myself, all these different things, what I'm going to do is go, that's awesome. I'm going to immediately teamify it. And I go, you know, my data's landing here, but it's your house, guys. I want you to know that wherever this lands, we, again, did I just teamify it again? We executed a plan that lets you know no matter where this house sells, you extracted the maximum amount of money the market would allow. Okay? You think a seller doesn't love hearing that? Okay? Trust me. And then you can refer back to that exact conversation that you had. So you come in at 319.9, above probably the range, maybe even a stretch to where it would even appraise, but that makes them happy. Okay? And that's a smile on their face now. Okay? So let's call this a Raymore house in a subdivision with great activity and high turnover. You've been getting showings, consistent showings, let's just say 3 or 4 a week. You're 2 weeks in, and all of a sudden you feel based on what you see in the market and other houses are selling and there's not, maybe even some feedback. Let's talk about feedback and price. If you're relying on feedback and price to match up, you're wasting your time. Agents will not tell you about price. First of all, they usually don't know. Secondly, they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So what we have to just know, because we're professionals, is if it's not selling, it either has to improve in condition or improve in price. Okay? Or wait. Okay? That's usually what that looks like. So after a period of time, and let's talk about that. There is no particular period. I can't tell you how many people in this room, I don't want to look at anybody, come up to me and go, okay, my house has been on the market X amount of days. At what point should I consider lowering the price? Okay. There's not a right answer to that. Okay. There's not a right answer to that. Now, Darren goes and lists a nice house in his subdivision here, Silver Lake. Great community, good turnover, very high appeal. If he has a house on the market for 2 weeks and it's had, let's just say 6, 8, 10 showings in Silver Lake, he probably knows that it's time to consider a change. You guys get that? Because he's in a high turnover area, in a price range that's attractive and quite honestly, relatively easy to sell. Therefore, the market has spoken for him. You guys get that? Okay. So Ryan goes out and lists a house on 40 acres with a barn. Maybe it's a barn dough, all that kind of stuff. He's 2 weeks in. He's had 2 showings. Okay, that probably has to be looked at a little bit differently because that property is more unique. It does not have a pool of buyers like Darren's. Its pool's this big. So sometimes you could be priced right and you just have to wait it out. You have to be more patient. You guys get that? Okay, very, very important. And then Teresa and I, we're the ones that go list the wackadoodle stuff, right? What was that one we were talking about the other day that was kind of cool? The log. Okay. So luxury. Yeah, so it's the coolest log home you've ever seen, which you can work for it. It's out a bit, okay? I didn't say BFE, but I was thinking it. It's out a bit, okay? It has a 1-car garage, but it's a $700,000 house. 7? Yeah, Okay, you think the market for that's pretty small? Log home for starters. Then we're in extreme rural area, right? Then we're in the luxury price range. And then for some reason, they built it with one garage. Okay. I don't know about you, but when I get above 500,000, I'm kind of expecting at least 2 places to park a car. Is that crazy? Okay. Yeah. It's rare. I mean, it's extremely rare. So that kind of thing is the extreme. That has to be taken with the longest time frames because the number of showings are going to be very, very small. So we have to be very, very patient. Now, sometimes one of the first people to engage it will buy it, and that's awesome. Pat yourself on the back and take all the credit. But the reality is that listing has to be managed differently. So when people come to me and go, well, how long do I wait before I make a price change? I absolutely will tell you every single time. I don't believe there's an answer. Now, you'll hear real estate coaches and things like that online tell you these, if you've had this number of showings in this many days, you are in for a price change and it needs to be X. And that's cool, but just know there's a lot of different variables before you go doing that, okay? I tend to try to, before I do a price change, especially if I think if this house was sitting at 310, the top of this range, not above it, I might wait just a little bit longer because I think I'm not that far off. If we did this, we're immediately talking price change within 2 weeks if I'm getting good traffic. By the way, this is Darren's house in Silver Lake is the example I'm using here. So does that make sense to everybody on how we have to treat the timelines on when we make changes differently? Okay, here's the other thing that's driving me a little bonkers. I don't mind saying, and I've done it a million times.
Going, even if it's a little higher, why would you go?
Why aren't they buying it? If you're getting a bunch of people that are true buyers looking at it, no one's offering, they're telling you something. They're probably telling you it either isn't for the condition it is, it's not worth the price. That's usually what they're saying. But you can also hold and just say, I think if we go through another 10 or 12 people, one of them will bite on it. Again, you have to always match the timelines up with the seller's timelines. You guys get that? So if Ryan has a unique acreage, but his seller is saying, hey, Brian, I've got to get to Denver. This thing needs to go in 60 or 90 days or less. Then he can't be as patient as we normally would be. Does that make sense? Okay, so everybody, you get a divorce case, you get health issues. The priority then isn't extracting the max amount of dollar, it's time. Okay, does that make sense? You have to be sure that your plan is in alignment with what the seller needs to have done. Okay, so always think that because that's priority one. Again, we're a team. Me, as seller and I are a team through this process. So Darren's had this thing, we'll call this Darren's house again, 319.9, knew it was a little high, good number of showings. He's 2 weeks in. He's going to reach back to him and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, remember we talked about, the range I expected for the house. You've now had 6, 8, 10 showings, no offers. By the way, here's 4 houses in your price space in Raymore that have went to contract. You'll notice 3 of those actually listed after you. Okay, there you go. We got to share the data. You're not here to tell them they're wrong. You're here to share the data and then interpret it for them. Okay, that's what you'll do. So what Darren's probably going to do here is go, guys, I really think we need to get ourselves down, and we'll just say 310, get us to at least the top of the range that I kind of felt like we'd likely land in anyway. And almost always, if you had the right conversation from the get-go, you'll get very little pushback here. Okay, especially if they've had 6, 8, 10 showings. Now, what a seller will often do is they'll go, well, hey, Darren, I know you've been doing this a while, right? I've been doing this a while, but I'm looking at that feedback you guys sent me. Only one person said we're overpriced. So I don't think your range was right to start with. That's happened to me many times. Again, that will never happen to you if you explain to them that, hey, when we look at this feedback, you can all but ignore what people say about price because either the buyers and or the agents honestly really don't know. All I care about is, are they writing us a contract? And if they're not, why are they writing the contract? You guys get that? The only time you're usually going to get consistent feedback as far as it being high, if the people are going to write an offer. Anybody ever get that? Seems high to me. Here comes the offer. Great strategy. Love that. Or if you're just way out of kilter, right? We just did a deal where the guy was buying in Garden City, house been on the market over a year, listed initially at 1.2 million. We liked it, but we're like, we see it as like an 850 house. We will buy it if it ever gets in that price range. Guess what happened? We waited 14 months. It got in that price range and we're under contract and close in a week, right? So, but I was giving them very serious feedback. Not only are you overpriced, the data tells me you're grossly overpriced. And that listing agent immediately goes, well, what comps are you using? And I shared what I saw. I wanted her to know. She goes, oh no, I don't look at it that way. She lost the listing. And anyway, we ended up doing the deal. Here's the other thing. Do not, if Darren goes to 317.9, brilliant, Darren, good job. $2,000, not even 1% of the list price. that didn't really move the needle at all. The general rule, and I'm not, I hate rules, but 3% is kind of the minimum on a sales price. So we'll call that 10 grand, 9 grand on a house like that. Most of the experts would say 5%, okay, is where you need, but let's use 3. Now, there is some value in doing small incremental changes, but you better be doing them frequently. 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000 to get your butt down to here in a hurry, okay? I think this is all but a waste of time when these people change the price like that. We saw $1 million house the other day that went down 2 grand. Wow, that opened the buyer pool. Run over there and sell that thing, Silas. It's down 2 grand. That's $1 million buyers. That's a lot of money, right? Stupid, just absolutely stupid. So think about this. Now, some exceptions to this rule. If this house is sitting at 305, okay, if I have any house, not just this one, at 305, we know the whole numbers are huge, right? 200,000, 300,000, 400. This is just above a whole number by about 1.5%. So this house actually could be lowered from 305 to 300 or 299.9, whichever you prefer. I'm not going to get into that. And that actually doesn't meet the 3% rule, but you just moved into a whole different space. You got it? Now you're talking to the buyers that are looking from 250 to 300. Before, you were missing all those eyeballs. You were competing with the 300 to 350 folks. You guys get that? Okay. Now that small price change, but you moved into a different space altogether. By the way, because you're one of the higher prices in the 250 to 3, you're probably one of the better homes in this space. You guys get that? Guess what you were in the other space? 300 to 350 and you're a 305er? Yeah, you're probably not one of the more desirable houses. If people truly can go up to 350, they seldom spend 305. I can tell you that. What people do is if they're looking 250 to 3, they often buy one of the ones that's closer to 3. You guys get that?
Yeah.
Questions so far? Ask me some so I can take a break.
Do you actually look for, like when you're listing a house for 300,000, rather put it at 299 and 300,000?
I'm not a big believer that it makes a big difference. The whole numbers, the thought is if you put it at 300, you'll get people looking up to 300 and the 300 to 350. So most of the so-called experts would tell you to do the 300. I also like 299.9 just because I like the Walmart pricing and the look and the eye candy on that. Yeah.
99 that'll show up versus the.
Yeah. So no huge preference there, but from a standpoint of digital eyeballs, they would tell you to be on the whole number. Anybody Ryan, add something to that?
Yeah. We tell our clients, yeah, we're not selling cars here. Staying on price. 5 to 10. That's the reason for it. That's what people are searching for, and Lonnie alluded to that as well. When they put in those ranges of what they're looking for, they're not looking from 250 up to 299.9. They're going where? Why would we go at 299.9? Not make a deal unless it's 300. So that's really the best way. That's our script that we use when we're talking to sellers. And also, again, that team of buying, that tells you you're on their side, you're holding their price in the market. We're going to stand up at this price from here. And it also shows them that we're not going to 295, we're at 300. So it gives you some leverage there.
Ryan just said Teamify. He's my new favorite. Okay. That's if you'll use the word Teamify just use the word Teamify. Say, hey, let's Teamify this, guys. That is what people want. They want a partner. What you guys do, you don't have the right conversations early on. And what ends up happening is it becomes you, the agent, versus them, the seller. I've been in that position a little bit. It feels almost kind of confrontational to some extent. You guys get that? Okay, it shouldn't be. If you Teamified it and had the right conversation going in, it should be a unified effort. Teamify, Ryan Fink gets credit. It should be that kind of effort through all these conversations, okay? So Darren's had the conversation. They listed at 319.9. He went and lowered the price to 310. Good job, Darren. He's a couple, people are like, what this you're gonna ask me to lower it again. And I said, well, I might. But what we're doing, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, remember the range I told you? By us going at your initial price and moving it down, what we're doing is we're executing a tiered pricing strategy, which is extremely common. And they'll go, well, doesn't it look bad if we lower our price? No, it doesn't look bad because you overpriced it to start with. This is a tiered strategy. And what a tiered strategy does, it lets a seller test the market at various price points over time with a level of patience. And that gives them the assurance that when they find their huckleberry, they extracted the most amount of money the market would allow. If you guys can master that conversation, feel free to steal that verbatim if that's your jam. That will help you through all these conversations. If you sit in my office when I'm having these conversations, it almost just spews out like that. And it works pretty darn well. Has anybody ever had that conference? Does anybody talk about tiered strategy ever? Okay. Teamify? Just me? Okay. All right. Well, me and Ryan, apparently. That's cool. So eventually somebody bites on this. And my guess is he's at 310. Somebody's going to offer him 300. They're going to get a contract at 305 and they're done. Okay. Landed at the top end of the range at 305. Okay. Did well, right? Not at the very top, but close to the top. They went to their crazy price was too high to start with. So they're going to feel like they went way down. They didn't go way down. You didn't really even go down until you got into the range that I told you in the first place. So I had to remind one of my doctor clients that he was down like 75 grand from where he started. He was 75 grand above the range I gave him. So when we finally got to the range and he's like, man, I feel like I've went down so far. And I go, well, I understand how you feel, but here's the range I told you. Technically, if you would have started at the top of the range, that's where we are now. That's where we are now. So I had to kind of refresh his memory on all that. And by the way, when you have listings that you're in business with them for months and months and months, you have to remind them of the conversation because of the amount of time that occurs from your initial meetings and conversations and things like that. Anybody have anything to add so far? Has anybody done a price change lately? Okay. Yeah, you're going to do more of them probably for a bit, especially as we get into pro time, which is the fourth quarter, early first quarter. They're more common. Yes.
Can you do what range pricing?
Different tool altogether, and it's very complex. But does anybody know what range pricing is? You know what that is? Okay. So Darren, smarter than everybody else, when he was at 310, if he had the seller's permission, he can they have to sign it, but he can hit a thing called range pricing, which allows him to say, for example, 299 to 310 range pricing in the MLS. That means that when an agent searches for houses just up to 300, his 310 will show up on their search engine. Have you guys ever been searching? You're like, you put up to 350 and all of a sudden here's a 360 and a 365 on your list. You're like, what the hell? This thing's broken, right? No, it's not. If you look at those listings, they have it in range pricing. Okay. I get to teach a whole class and I don't want to go down that bunny trail because it's pretty complex. Very few of you guys ever use it, but you print out these sheets of houses for your people to look at and you're like, why are 4 of these above the range that I put in there? It's because somebody did range pricing more often than not. Okay, so tiered strategy, Teamify, these are going to be really, really important. Not only how much, 3%, 5%, break a whole number, but the frequency of price change. Each house has to be looked at differently. You guys get that. You can't just say, well, we waited 3 weeks and we changed and now it's been 3 more weeks and we have to do it again. What's the market doing? What are the other houses in that space doing? If the market is just kind of in one of those little lulls, sometimes you're priced right and you just need to be more patient as long as your seller has the timelines to do so. You guys get that? Again, it goes back to their needs and what they're trying to accomplish in the deal. Let's see, what else did I have here? Oh, okay. I have a listing right now. It's 120 days on the market. When I get a call on it, one of the first things the agent will say, hey, Lonnie, how are you? It's good talking to you again, all that kind of stuff. So what's going on with your house? It's been on the market for 4 months. Well, that's a great way to say hello. Thank you for that. So usually in those cases, I'll go, well, what do you mean? And they'll go, well, yeah, you've been on the market 4 months. I mean, well, how is this house not sold? And they're basically telling you before they even look at it, they think it's overpriced, right? That's what they're saying. So usually what I'll say is, I strategize with my sellers on my listings, and they actually opted to enter the market at a price that we thought was at the very, very top of expectations. We have slowly over time, based on our consultation, worked them down into the price range that we think fits a little bit better. Therefore, that's why we have more days on the market. That matched up with their needs, and certainly I'm their partner in this thing, so that's why we're running this play. Do you want to see it now? We don't need to take the defensive and go, oh, you haven't even seen it yet. Don't say my house sucks, all that kind of stuff. Just explain to them that this is part of the strategy that the seller and I chose. If, let's say Darren was, and in that price range, 60 days on the market can sometimes be a lot. But say he's 45, 60 days and gets that call, Darren's just going to go, hey, we put a plan together with the seller. We tested the market at the very, very top of expectations. We've made modifications over time. And I feel like now we're kind of in that sweet spot where this thing could go anytime. Okay. Yes, it's been on the market for 60 days or 70 days or whatever that magic number is. But now you've just you've answered what you've kind of offset their challenge a little bit. You guys get that? With, oh, Darren, you have a listing with a lot of days on market for that price range. Yeah, that's almost kind of by design. Okay, you said this is the marketing plan that we designed and we're just executing it. Nothing wrong with that, guys. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Brandon, anything to add to that?
No.
Caught you off guard. Just give it up for Brandy. Yeah. All right.
Checking the food. I'm tracking the food.
You're tracking how's the food coming?
It is.
Yeah. Oh, it is here. I actually can smell it. That sounds great. Okay. I think I hit most of the bullet points that matter there. Two more quick things. Nathan our investment club, I think we had 20 or 25 people there last time. Funny thing, market centers with 300 agents, their investment club. I know one that just recently met, they had 11 people there. We have 120 people in our market center, and we usually have 20 to 25 people.
That market center is like over 500 people.
Yeah, I didn't want to rub that in.
Oh.
But
it's over 300.
again, our synergy for this office,
Yeah.
we have some huge advantages by being a little smaller. We can move, we can be shifty versus these big machines. But also what happens is you get a tight core group of agents that help each other out. You guys self-police each other. I've heard you kind of see somebody in a bad mood, maybe really in a bad mood, and somebody just goes and takes care of it. It doesn't even get to leadership. But for those of you that were there, I'm going to rehash it a little bit, but we have a guy in our office and multiple people in our office, but we'll give Nate credit here. Nathan was an agent, okay? And 15 years ago, he enjoyed real estate, started making some money, joined my team, spun off and did his own thing. But what he did is he took the retail business, listing and selling houses. By the way, what's the average commission GCI in our office right now? 9,400, almost 10,000. I bet it hits 10,000 next year. How cool is that? So now some of you guys are like, oh, mine's 5. Okay, I can average for the office. Some of you guys are 15. We're Swagger. He works with doctors and stuff. So his is big. So, but Nate took the retail business. Okay. Do you have to have a degree to get a real estate license? How much is it to get a license these days? How much is a license? $1,000.
2,000.
We'll go $2,000. Okay. $2,000. How much is opening a coffee shop? Right. Bing Coffee. I could just go on tens of thousands of dollars and not knowing if you're going to make a nickel. We can make $9,400 a turn, guys. That's why we need to be doing it. He developed a retail business, which allowed him to create capital, save money, to get himself into the flipping and renovation business, which allowed him to become an investor. Now, Nate told us the other day, probably 4 out of 5 houses he acquires, he flips, he turns to create even more revenue, okay? His retail business plus his flip income lets him become a big real estate investor and a holder. He said every time he sells something that he flips, he feels bad because he knows he should keep it, okay? Long-term wealth is built through holding real estate. Flipping is great for revenue. Wealth building happens through holding these things over time. And then that's allowed him into all these other facets that come to people like that. Nathan's a sharp guy, but all of us have the ability, if we want, to go down any or all of these paths. And some of you guys are like, I don't want to do all that stuff. Cool. But do you know anybody that might? Are there other agents you do business with that need to think about things a little differently? Where's Sandy? She here? Hi, Sandy. Big smile. You just did your first flip, right? Okay. A couple years ago, you probably weren't thinking about flips, but you just. There's that. But you sold, you have it under contract, right? Oh, it's close. Okay, good. Congratulations. Yay. Give it. Yeah.
Sandy?
And it was easy, right?
Yeah.
You said yes.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Okay. So, if anybody really wants to go down this path, the key is we've got to create enough income to get into this arena of holding property and owning property and putting down payments down and things like that. We have to create money. The problem is for a typical real estate agent who's like, hey, my goal year 1 is to make 50,000, just to throw out a number. And they do it. You're like, oh, congratulations. Then all of a sudden they raise the bar to 75, and they raise it to 100 and 150. And, many of you guys are way above that, but that's how this goes. The problem is we continually raise our lifestyle with that. So if you're making 50 grand, you're pretty happy about it. And all of a sudden your goal is 100 and then 150. If you raise your lifestyle as far as what it costs to live equally, guess what happens when you hit a year that's not a great year? Or a 3-year period. We're in a 3-year national real estate recession right now and all that. It can get a little less than comfortable, okay? And by the way, when that happens, there is no money for investing, okay? It's just survival mode, okay? We've got to live within our means. Nathan, if you know, Nate's got a nice house and everything. Nate's not out there. Where's Silas? He's not driving Silas's car. but he always drives nice SUVs and things like that. Yeah. They have a wonderful home, but they haven't bought into that they need $1 million house or any of that kind of stuff. Instead, he's like, why would I exchange my 450, 550 house for $1 million house? Yes, he could do it easily in 2 million if he wanted to, but by staying lean and mean, he could play this and he can play this hand a lot. They could be in and out of 2, 3, 4, a dozen houses at a time if he wants to, okay? Because they didn't stretch themselves, okay? Think about that as you see the peaks and valleys of business. Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, well, and he puts a lot of miles on it, so he knows he's going to rag them out. Okay, last thing we talked about in our investment club. By the way, investment club we're going to do it every other month. It is open to people. If you want to join us, please let us know. And we're going to just go down the different bunny trails that you guys want to talk about in that group. I'm hopeful that some of the people in that group will start to either find investors that are looking for investment property or themselves want to invest in investment property. I know some of you guys are marketing for that out there, which is great. Last thing, 50-year mortgage. We talked about that in the investment club. People over the holidays are going to ask you about the 50-year mortgage because it's kind of a hot topic right now. Okay. Was it Trump, I assume, that talked about Todd? Okay. The only reason it's a hot topic is because Trump said it. Okay. Right. No political things, but supposedly that's going to change the world. Not going to change the world. Here's the numbers. Need to know this. On a $400,000 mortgage at 6%, a 30-year mortgage, I'm going to round it off, has a $2,400 payment. A 50-year mortgage would be $292 less. Okay. That is 12% less payment, but you add 66% to the term. You guys get that? 30 years to 50 is 66% more. Good math, all right? Trust me. Payment that I just gave you, I promise that's right because Jake checked it. So 12%. Now the reality is that's if the 50-year mortgage is going to be at the same rate as a 30-year mortgage. Are 15s and 30s the same, Todd? Let's go ahead and say no. So if the 50 ever shows up, it ain't going to show up at the same rate as 30. Probably, let's just say 0.5%. Now, all of a sudden, that payment, instead of $292 savings, woo, add 20 years to my house for $292 a month. Pass. Now it's $192. Okay, so now it's 8% difference. I'm going to add 66% more term for what's likely going to be an 8 to 12% savings in payment. What do you think the math looks like on that? Okay. When you hear people talk about this, jump in that conversation and explain to them that you're going to look sharper than whoever explained it to them before that. I can assure you, because I've already heard you guys fumbling around on the conversation just here in the office. So we're going to understand how this works. By the way, most people aren't going to live in their house 30 years. You always say that. Well, you're not going to live in it. Who lives in their house 30 years? Might as well take a 50. Is there a 100-year mortgage? I want that one. All that kind of stuff.
So the fact that they're not getting anything out of it.
Yeah, you're paying almost no principal. In fact, if you just looked at a 30-year mortgage, at 30 years, it's paid off. You guys get that? Woohoo, whether it's a rental property or your own house. If you did a 50-year mortgage after 30 years, a $400,000 mortgage, you almost still owe $3. It's $294 actually. So that's Todd.
Yeah, I've been using the example on a $100,000 mortgage. It's roughly $70. So $100,000 mortgage, $280. So lines pretty close. So, but the argument on my end is, can you get them in the game to buy a home? But the flip side is, could I restructure their finances a little bit better to get them 30 and still figure out how to save $280 on the $400,000 house? So a skilled loan officer can probably do both, but it hits the media, it hits it hits all the things out there that we get excited about it. Wall Street, we have to do a lot of reconstruction to get a 50-year mortgage in there, but it gets you talking about mortgage, it gets people talking about dropping rates, it gets people all that, which is really all that we're trying to do.
Okay. So if you're a Southlander, you understand the 50-year mortgage conversation better than your competitors at Reese Nichols and everywhere else. It's what we insist upon. I'm done. It's all yours, Brandy. Anything else?
No, this is good. I
Let's
told you it's going to be action packed and value packed. All right, we do have lunch here. We are excited to offer you Jack Stack today. So we're thankful for you and we want to celebrate the Thanksgiving lunch together. Stephanie, do you have anything you want to say? Okay, absolutely. So what we're going to do is here in a minute, the food, we're trying something new so we don't have to take up the back table. The food is already out and it's in the front. and across the back table behind our front desk person. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna all head that way, go in a circle, grab your food. Desserts and drinks are in the copy room area. So make sure you stop by there, get a drink and a dessert. And then I think if we do that, we'll stay out of each other's way. Sound good?
Yay.
All right. Oh,
What?
we have one more ticket. One more ticket so we can draw today. Somebody needs to buy that ticket. Who wants it? Think. All right, who's gonna lead the line? Who's gonna go first? So we walk between the poles and our center. You want to stop the? You know, that all there was stuff already there. But I don't know. Oh, yeah. And also, so I need stuff already there, and then we have the plumber fix that. We have the stuff